When you are waist deep in a complete teardown, a complete rebuild, the wins are pretty hard to come by. Tonight, not only did the Wizards just get the win, this was the most complete performance of the entire rebuild.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
DC family, you are locked on to the Washington Wizards, where you're part of our family. We thank you for making Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Alongside the DC sports content creating Strober and Abdullah Ayubi, I'm Ben Strober, and I cover the Washington Wizards for Roundtable IO. 138, a season high for the Washington Wizards tonight. 117 for the Raptors. One of the most complete performances of this entire rebuild. I would take it a step further and say this is the most. AB, that was a lot of fun.
It's a late Christmas present, Bren. The Wizards winning, not only winning, by winning 21 points against the Raptors team that's fourth in the Eastern Conference, a couple games above 500. This team is trying to go out there and compete. And defensively, the rotations, I loved it tonight. Bilal Coulibaly, Ben. I mean, we've been begging for a game like this with Bilal. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals, a block. This is the kid that they drafted in 2023, a guy who can be a cornerstone piece of this franchise. An aggressive and healthy Bilal is a guy that not many people in this league want to guard. And Alex Sarr, 15 points, 3 rebounds, a little concerning, but a great team win. Keyshawn George bouncing back, 23.6 rebounds, 3 assists after his 2-point performance against the Hornets. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. The Wiz kids were balling out tonight.
And that's exactly why I feel like this is the most complete performance. I'm going to talk a lot about Bilal in the second segment. I might be issuing an apology to Bilal Coulibaly after the way he played tonight. And yeah, I think everybody's going to owe Bilal an apology, at least for tonight, the way he played offensively. We'll get to that in the second segment. As always, in the third segment, we'll give you the opportunity to let it all out. But this time, it's obviously going to be a good feeling for a lot of you guys because of this win. A big reason why this is the most complete performance of the entire Wizards rebuild for me. Think about it this way. You just won this game because of key contributions from everybody on this team. Let's count it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double figures. Keyshawn George being one of them, Alex Sarr being one of them, Bilal with a season-high 21. CJ McCollum had 21. Trey Johnson had 12 points for you off the bench. Bub Carrington, once again, excellent off the bench. Bub Carrington just continues to be a great three-point shooter. His three-point percentage after tonight has climbed above 43%. He was 4 of 7 from behind the arc today. It's unbelievable how a guy that lacked confidence the way he did for the first 21 games of the season has completely flipped the script on the narrative around him as a player, because he was getting good shots. He was getting opportunities. Shot just wasn't falling for the kid. And now that the shot's falling, everybody's changed the way they think about Bub Carrington. That's why, AB, you and I said so many times on this podcast that a 20-year-old kid that lost his dad under a year ago, was going through a rough time in his life, was learning a new role. It was going to take time for him to materialize in this game. In the fourth quarter, this Wizards team was excellent. They outscored Toronto 36-17 in the fourth quarter alone. And you think every time you go into a game with a lead in the fourth quarter for this Wizards team this year, because of the countless blown leads, you go, oh man, how are we gonna level up and make it worse than it was last time? And think about how bad it was on Tuesday against Charlotte, where they got outscored in the fourth quarter by, I think, 20 points, if I remember correctly. Today, they just dominate the entire fourth quarter of this game. It was kind of a lull in the third quarter, but fourth quarter, they stepped it up in a big way. Most complete performance I've seen for this Wizards team in the rebuild so far.
I want to go back to Bub Carrington, Ben. It looked like he was going to miss some time when he had that ankle injury against Charlotte. But the new nickname for him is Iron Man, because, man, that kid, even if he gets hurt, he's not going to miss games. And I love what he was doing out there. Defensively, the intensity. Offensively, 4 3-pointers, finishing with 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. This is the Bub Carrington that the Wizards drafted last season. A guy who is starting off slow this season. Many people are writing him off. Don't understand why. 20 years old. You see what he can do out there when he is efficient. And when he got downhill today, he got to the free throw line a little bit as well. Want to see more of that for the future. But this Wizards squad in general, 138 points, only giving up 117 on average. You give up a 129 to 130. This is what we wanted to see. And I'm going to say it again. This is against a good Raptors team. And this is a Raptors team that blew you out not too long ago. And it seems like we're playing the Raptors every single other week, Eastern Conference team. But CJ McCollum tonight, 21 points. Chris Middleton, it contributed a little bit. And Trey Johnson with 12 points. The fact that the vets were doing their thing and the young guys were doing their thing. JC, 7 rebounds. I mean, he's just going out there and balls out. I feel like tonight, it seemed like the Wizards, they were competitive. I love how they ended the first half. I think they scored like 70 points in the first half. And I was thinking to myself, how are they going to blow it in the fourth quarter? The whole idea of money line or live betting money line for the other team every time they play against the Wiz. But tonight, Ben, I mean, you can't say anything negative about the squad, especially Bilal Coulibaly, who, like you mentioned, you and I have been concerned about because this is a kid who's up for contract, year 3. When are we going to see the offensive jump? 20-plus points. Haven't seen this performance since he got his first career triple-double last year against the Brooklyn Nets. Love this win. Keep moving forward.
Yeah, and a big thing for me was the consistency that we saw tonight across the board. The Wizards were better in almost every single statistical category, especially the ones that matter. 59% from the field, nearly 60, 45% from behind the arc. So they shot the ball much better than Toronto did. They also out-rebounded them by 13, and the rebounding margins haven't been friendly to the Wizards in plenty of these contests tonight. But like you said, you get those contributions for a guy like Justin Champagnie off the bench. He always chips in. He has great activity on the offensive glass. Brian Keefe today in the pregame press conference was asked about Justin Champagnie from Chase Hughes, and he said, I think he's a top 3 offensive rebounder in the entire NBA, and for a guy that's at 6'5.5", 6'6", it's unbelievable how active he is on that part of the glass. You get so many contributions that come off your bench, and it was good to see Will Riley get back into the rotation tonight and provide some meaningful minutes. You didn't have Corey Kispert, who left the game with a hamstring injury on Tuesday, so wishing Corey the best. Hope to see him back as well. But if it means that Will Riley is in the lineup and getting these minutes, he had 16 of them tonight, that's a good thing for me going forward. I'm glad to see him get those minutes. He was 3 of 7 from the field, had 2 rebounds, 2 assists. I just like the way he's shown aggressiveness. I like the way he's developed, the way he attacks with a basketball in his hands. He's getting used to not shying away from the contact anymore. I know Scotty Barnes kind of gave him a big welcome to the NBA moment, showed him why the weight room is going to be his best friend this summer when he just muscled him out of the way and threw it down. But overall, Will Riley, nice performance for him off the bench. I want to talk a little bit about Trey Johnson. 20 minutes tonight overall, 4 for 8 from the field. He only took 3 shots from the outside. None of them were great shots in particular. It seemed like he kind of forced those ones. He was really effective at getting downhill and getting to the basket today. He's getting a lot better as a player with the basketball in his hands. At times he struggled, and even early on in the game, when they first put him in, he struggled. He turned the ball over a couple times early in the game. He got it together. I thought his second stint of minutes that he played in the third quarter with Bub Carrington out there as well, when those two were sharing the floor with one another, those were really good minutes for Johnson. He is growing as a player every single game. The jump shot is there for the guy. We know that. They're going to continue to facilitate the offense around him as we go forward. But I like that he's developing to be complete as a player. The theme of this game for me is complete. I felt like it was the most complete performance from the team that we've seen in the rebuild because you got the contributions from everyone across the board. Everyone looked like they had developed certain things. Another guy I wanted to highlight, Keyshawn George. He had his worst performance of the entire season on Tuesday, where he had just 1 field goal made, and it came with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. Tonight, completely different story. 18 points in the first half for the guy. He finished with 23. He was 9 of 13 from the field after he missed his first 2 shots. He didn't get passive. That's the one thing I loved in terms of development for the guy, is he didn't get passive and he didn't force. He played within himself. He started to get involved in the mid-range game, started to create separation, attack to the basket, and he also did a great job chipping in on the glass as well with 6 boards, 3 assists. Great performance for Keyshawn George, who showed a lot of strides, a lot of poise, and a lot of resilience from his last performance.
Going back to Trey Johnson, Ben, this is what we've been talking about. He needs those reps. You can't limit the kid. Don't hinder his development. And it's crazy, Ben, because I don't even care if he shoots from beyond half court. Any shot that he puts up, it looks like it's going in. And once his shot becomes that much of a threat with more reps, teams are going to start to fall for that pump fake. He can go to the mid-range, go to the basket, get fouled. Small things like that's going to build up for Trey. And then once he gets double teams, it's going to open up opportunities for Key in the corner, maybe a cutting Bilal, JC, Alex Sarr in the paint. Once you build those things, it helps out everyone on the court. And the Wiz kids tonight, I just loved how they shared the basketball. At times this season, we've been complaining about the vets taking a lot of those shots. Tonight, CJ took 16 shots, even though that's still a little too much for me. He was still going out there and finding a way to play make for his team. And this is a guy who you want to net a first-round pick with the trade deadline coming up, but also want him to be a mentor for these young guys. And just moving forward tonight, Trey Johnson, 20 minutes. Ideally, I want to see 25 plus, but you take it how you can get it. And Marvin Bagley tonight, 6 points, 5 rebounds. Everyone, like you mentioned, this is a complete team win. We've had, I think this is our 6th win of the season, right, Ben? 6? Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure.
6 wins, 6
Yes,
wins.
6 wins. Did we, at last season, do you know if we were already at 6 wins at this point of the season?
I'd have to go back and double check, to be honest. It's hard to say. Probably not, honestly.
So that's improvement. That's progress.
The Wizards honestly played pretty well down the stretch last year. It's going to be interesting to see how it shapes up because I'm excited for the second half of the season, AB, because I already see a lot of people complaining still about the 31 minutes, the 16 shots for CJ McCollum, the 19 minutes for Chris Middleton. Those guys aren't going to be around after the trade deadline. It's going to be free reign for these young kids to go play because tonight like this was a night where you actually have fun as a Wizards fan in a rebuild because you see your young guys balling and getting opportunities to improve as the season's gone on here. And tonight, you got to win because of your young players. I know one of the wins that we had at home here this year was that one against the Atlanta Hawks where CJ McCollum had 46 points, and that's awesome. Happy for CJ that he could have a 40-point game at 34 years old, but he's not going to be around long term. It doesn't do a whole lot for you other than give you a win in the stat sheet, which obviously doesn't mean anything for the Wizards here. But you won this game because of the youth, so you can feel good about that. Let's take our first break.
I would say, sorry, one thing, Ben. One thing, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Man, one quick thing. This, in my opinion, is a step forward. You know, Brian Keefe said not too long ago after that 40-point loss against the Celtics without that number 1 and number 2 option, we took a step back. And to his credit today, this was a step forward. Seeing the youth win, and on top of that, winning by 20-plus points.
Absolutely. I think couldn't have said it any better there myself. All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, let's talk about Bilal Coulibaly, who had a season high tonight. Nobody knows your money goals better than you. Robinhood puts you in control of your money with tools that work as hard as you do. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again, channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto, all in one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood's Legends advanced tools. Or take advantage of the new Robinhood Strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. The season's heating up and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun. Because every player has their bag with DoorDash. Fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your stack stocked, your gear fresh. As a Wizards fan. Not tonight, though. Let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you need dessert now. Those late-night interviews hit and suddenly you need chips at midnight. DoorDash is built exactly for that. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, and whatever gets you through the season delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. We thank you all for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. Be sure to check the link in our show notes about joining the Everydayer Club, exclusive access to a Discord, ad-free episode content. It might be a deal that you want to get in on here if you are an everydayer of the channel. If you're an everydayer, comment down below and let us know that you're enjoying this episode and enjoying a big, complete performance for this Washington Wiz Kid team. Big part of that win, Bilal Coulibaly, a season high for him tonight. +5 in the plus-minus category. AB, I thought Bilal was active all over the place tonight and definitely the best performance we've seen from him all season.
And this is what we've been waiting for, Ben. We were worried about the whole idea of him being injury-prone and him contract extension coming up. Year 3, we haven't seen the offensive jump the past 2 seasons. His seasons were cut short due to injury being shut down. And with this season, you saw the amount of young guys on the squad. How are we going to balance out the touches with a deep wing group? But tonight, Bilal Coulibaly, I mean, he looked like an established product out there. His ability to take it to the rim, the and one that he had late in the game. I always talk about it. When he can get downhill and be able to finish, I mean, there's not many guys that can do it like him with his speed, that quick first step. the athleticism. 3-point shooting wise, if I'm looking at it, 1 of 4 from 3-point land, 8 of 4 field goal range, only 2 turnovers. So ideally, maybe you want to see more 3-point shooting increase wise, because I always go back to the fact that Greg, not too long ago, shout out to Greg Finberg, said that his 3-point shot has been decreasing percentage-wise throughout the years, but we want to make sure that he hits at least 30 to 35%. And today's NBA, in my opinion, anyone can go out there and should be able to shoot the ball. And Bilal, for a guy who, I don't know, again, like we hope that this is the norm going forward. I'm hoping that's not the outlier. But tonight, I mean, you can't say anything bad about him, Ben. I've been giving him a lot of slack recently, saying that he's a piece that you might consider moving on from, see what you can get trade value wise. But if this is the Bilal we're going to see more times than not, I would love him to be a cornerstone piece for this franchise. And I'm hoping to see more performances like this. 26 minutes as well. It's very, very good performance against the Raptors squad. That's very aggressive defensively, have some nice pieces. I think he also did a good job. It was Scotty Barnes that he was the assignment to, right, Ben?
Yeah, Barnes was not particularly good in this game. He was a minus 29, 6 of 14 from the field, 0 for 2 from behind the arc. Bilal definitely did his job. One thing I want to point out before I allude a little more on Bilal here, this has to be the first time the entire season where everybody was a positive plus-minus. I don't think that's happened whatsoever. So the Raptors' biggest lead of this game was 3 points with 4:18 to go in the second quarter. That was the only time the Raptors even led in this ball game. So that just shows you how dominant and how complete this Wizards team was. And with Bilal, AB, I like that he was aggressive tonight. Although he kind of got that Ben Simmons treatment where guys are starting to sag off him and almost dare him to shoot the ball. He wasn't too overly aggressive with it. 1 for 4. The one opportunity he did make was on a catch-and-shoot look, which you do like to see. So 25% from the three-point line tonight for Bilal, which is right at his season average, which isn't obviously ideal. But for a guy like who's struggling to shoot the basketball and may never be great at shooting the basketball, I like what he did tonight because I like his ability to get downhill and play inside. That's something that's a strength to his game. We've seen the flashes where he can get to the rim and punch it home, and he did so a couple of times, finished the contact on numerous occasions as well. That should be Bilal Coulibaly's game, and obviously he can operate effectively out of the transition because of what he brings to the table defensively. I thought he had another really nice game defensively, 3 steals for the French 21-year-old. There's a lot to like about Bilal Coulibaly's game. I think if he kind of takes a chill pill from shooting a lot of threes. I know that the defense is daring him to, and they're almost trying to assess, like, this is the scouting report for the guy. We don't think he can shoot the basketball. Bilal needs to find a way to make them respect his game no matter what. Although they know he can take it inside, he did so today. It was obvious that the Raptors wanted to let him shoot threes, and he still found ways to get to the rim. So that's a big positive for me for Bilal tonight. He ended up finishing a +5 in the game. Great performance for Bilal Coulibaly. He needs to replicate performances and stack them the way he did tonight.
And let me correct myself. When I said I want him to shoot the 3-point shot better, when they're open shots, I want him to be able to make those shots.
Yes,
if it's not happening,
shots.
I don't want him to take pull-up sidestep threes, Jason Tatum style. I would rather see him go to the hole. But I feel like if you can establish that 3-point shot, teams will have to step up on you, and then you can take that blow by, easy layup right there, or dish it to Alex Sarr in the paint. And moving forward, Ben, do you think this is a hopeful norm here that we'll see more performances like this? I'm not even asking for 20 points, Ben. 15 would be great.
Well, it's a little tough to make a proclamation based on one performance, but you know that he's capable of doing it. And you ask yourself, why haven't we seen this for a lot of the season? Is it because the injury and him being on the mend so much has kept him from getting in a rhythm and playing this way? Maybe that's a big part of the reason, because health is definitely a factor that comes to assessing Bilal Coulibaly. You know that he is capable of playing the way he did tonight and actually being a productive piece for you offensively. Now that you know that, you have to find a way to unlock that and bring that to the table every single night if you're Bilal. He's got a lot of tools to love. You know why this organization loves him. It's because of performances like tonight, performances like he had against matching up with Giannis a couple weeks back. They see the vision with a guy in Bilal Coulibaly. He's got to make it worth their while.
Guys, I can't wait to look at the comment section. I really don't think you can say anything negative tonight. I mean, Coach Brian Keefe gets a W. Everyone is happy
There's
tonight.
always negative comments.
Stranger Things Volume 2 is out. The Wizards get a win. I mean, the presents just keep on coming even after Christmas.
I gotta watch. Netflix timed that out perfectly, by the way. Like, can you imagine? You watch Commanders, Cowboys, and you watch Vikings, Lions, and wow, what an embarrassing loss for the Lions, by the way, to end their playoff hopes. And then 10 minutes after that, Stranger Things premieres at the same time that Amazon Prime is trying to compete with the Christmas Day football game. Netflix with the chess piece right there. I'll say that.
They just bought HBO, too. They're making moves, Ben.
They are. I mean, it's insane how streaming is gone. Hopefully, we don't end up on a streaming platform one day.
Imagine the Wizard. In order to watch the Wizards, you got to buy a Netflix subscription.
No. I mean, like our podcast, because people have a hard enough time even watching the team right now with the monumental stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But that's why we're free and available wherever you get your podcast every single day. Stick with us. It's time to let it all out when we come back. During basketball season, there's nothing like being in the building. The energy, the crowd, there's a good energy tonight here in Capital One Arena. The first big run that gets everyone on their feet, fans want to be in there for those moments, not stuck refreshing screens or guessing what tickets are really going to cost. That's where Game Time comes in. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage back, making it incredibly easy to score amazing tickets, fast, simple, without the guesswork. Browsing the Game Time app is straightforward and intuitive. Finding tickets takes just a few taps. Seeing the view from your seat before buying makes choosing tickets easy and confident. Prices include fees up front, so the total is clear from the start. Whether it's an NBA game or another live event, everything is right there in one place. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today and get in on the action. Well, it's a Wizards win, 6th of the year for the young Washington Wizards kids. That means it's your time to shine here on the Locked On Wizards, your favorite post-game segment on the Locked On Wizards post-game show. It's time to let it all out. AB, let's get it going.
WJM398, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the Locked On Wizards channel. He says, great win, complete win. I told you that I felt like they were turning the corner. I was dismissed. I completely agree. This is against a decent Raptors team that's trying to compete in the Eastern Conference. So that even adds more to the layer. Locked On Law says, and now you are blocked. I'm assuming he's talking about WJM's comment. Brandon Code says, this young core is different. So many promising young players. Completely agree. I think if you saw what we saw from Bilal tonight, Alex Sarr, 3 blocks, the 3 rebounds was a little concerning. But again, this was a complete team win. Locked On Law says, number one, no. Locked On Law is a funny dude. XS No Trace XX says, we got the dub. Yes, we did. WizKid forever. Shout out to you, man. Well played game in the second half. Bilal looked like the player we drafted. Trace still could have gone more minutes, though. I agree. I think maybe you think the reason why Ben Trey didn't play that much was because it was a blowout?
No, I think he's kind of just been around that 20-minute per game mark, which I don't love. But if you look across the board, like, you're getting a lot of minutes from guys that are kind of like tweener position guys, like Bub is your combo guy. Justin Champagnie comes off the bench and he kind of plays as like a hybrid player for you. CJ McCollum playing 31 minutes, obviously he's going to take up a bulk of that. And then Bilal Coulibaly is also like kind of a small ball guy. It's just kind of the way it shaped up. Things are going to look very different after the trade deadline, and that's the hope I hold out for. I obviously want to see Trey play as many minutes as possible. I'd love to see him shoot the basketball all night long, but I really do believe and I hope there is a plan in place to see them unleash him fully after the trade deadline.
WJM also says, a month ago, they were losing this game by 20 once the fourth quarter began. They are growing. Indeed. Dispo 11110 says, Bilal is him. Tonight, he was definitely him. I mean, a lot of kids, a lot of Wizards fans have been scratching their heads thinking that he might not be a key piece here in DC, but tonight he said otherwise. Locked On Law says, if him is another player who has one good game every 10 and can't stay healthy, oh man, he's a funny dude. Bilal, Key, Dub, Bub all played well. They are coming together. I will say, Ben, there was one call I didn't like late in the third. I think Bub was boxing out his man and the guy jumps over his back. I mean, I was like, what is that?
That was disgusting. Even people in the arena were going crazy, booing the officials because that call was ridiculous. Jumped right over his back. I don't understand. We rarely box out. We rarely box out. That's a problem for this Wizards team. In fact, you see one of your guards down there boxing out a big like that just for him to be screwed over by a terrible call. It's insane. That sucks.
Mako Tosa 2 says 3-3 in the last 3 games. That's quite an accomplishment, indubitably. 99 Brando 99 says 3-3, but no role definition. We have 2 young players and 3 vets starting and closing. I think moving forward, we're hoping to see more performances like this where everyone's contributing offensively and defensively. WJM also says JC is a monster. I completely agree. Mental Edge through 2398. Oh, here we go. I apologize also for recommending Bub to go to the G League. Sorry, Bub. Hey, it takes a man to admit when he's wrong.
It does.
I like it. Divino Most One says this is what Bub can be if he can become a consistent point guard. What do you think, Ben? Where are we right now when it comes to the Bub Carrington point guard experiment?
Tonight was a good night for Bub Carrington in that department. And, like, the stats aren't going to, like, overwhelm you with the 4 assists in 22 minutes, but I think the reads are just getting better for Bub Carrington. I love when he made a really nice slip pass down low to Marvin Bagley when they worked out of the pick and roll. He's getting better at reading the defense because the Wizards play in this read and react offense where that's kind of how you have to be. And I think that's why Bub struggled to adjust to the role. And I'm not saying, like, Bub Carrington has made strides where you say, like, this is your true one going forward, but he's looked serviceable. Really, for the past 8 games or so, he's improving, and that's the most important thing.
100%. Matt Tosa 2 also says the Wizards got their 6th win last year on New Year's Day 2025, so they are ahead from last year. Thank you. That's a good nugget right there.
Thank you for that.
Joshua Jenkins 188 says seen a lot of development and progress in our young guys tonight. Excited about Bilal's game tonight, his best game so far, and we're hoping to see more of it. CS Pen 123 says loving what I'm seeing from these kids. Slow, steady improvement. I think on Sunday, Ben, they play the Grizzlies, and that's a Grizzlies team that lost to them not too long ago. So they're definitely hungry to try to get.
They're going to be mad. 20-point comeback against them.
They're going to want to get.
I think anybody's going to be mad that loses to this Wizards team. They had the worst record in the NBA. That's a bad loss for the Toronto Raptors. They were awful tonight. First of all, I mean, they were bad. The Wizards were really good tonight. The most complete performance I've said, but that's a bad loss for the Raptors, and you could tell that they were frustrated. I like to be a team that's frustrating the opponent. That's who we can be. That's what the organization said they were going to be. We want to be a team that's tough to take out every single night and compete, and tonight was one of those nights.
Augustine the King 1017. Great game for the team. 100. Bobby Johnson 6407. They ran a pin down for Bub and he drained the 3. Would love to see that action for Trey. Yeah, I think Trey Johnson, when it comes to the offensive sets, want to see a lot of it, the offense going through him because we saw what he did in Texas, given the load that he was given as a young freshman. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, look at it this way, though, with Trey. At least this is the way I took it. I thought they tried to get him involved with some screens around the top of the key to get him open. But Toronto is very aggressive in the way they press the basketball defensively. And that was part of the scouting report. They didn't want Trey to have any open looks for 3. He didn't really have any open looks in this game. He took 1 in transition. I think he forced 2 others. But Trey Johnson did a good job of giving him taking what the defense was giving to him. They were taking away his ability to get a good look off from 3. So he took it to the basket, got downhill, and made plays that way. That's progress for Trey Johnson. He doesn't have to be a guy that's knocking down 4 threes every single night to be effective. Tonight was a night where he gave you a ton without making a single 3.
Joshua also says Sar was a big impact tonight, protecting the rim, showing flashes of an all-star. I'll tell you what, Ben, I think next season, if this team can hit 30 wins and he puts up 15 to 18 points per game and averages 9 to 10 rebounds with his ability to protect the rim, I think Alex Sarr can be an all-star. Now, granted, all-star voting, it's a lot of popularity, but I think out of the bunch, I mean, I love Keyshawn, but Alex Sarr's defensive capability is really great.
I mean, we gotta somehow the Wizards gotta pimp him out in a way where people will be interested in voting for him in the All-Star. I know they're trying to do it right now. They're gonna have to win more next year for that to be a reality.
I like how you said pimp him out. It's funny.
Pretty much.
Yeah, if the Commanders fans can vote for Rookie of the Year for Jaded last year and this year Bill Krosky and Merritt, I think Wizards fans can definitely do the same. 420 Terrence says, great game tonight. Everybody eats. IT2 Sparky says, vote for All-Star. I like that. Corey also says, Dancer1290 says, Bub is turning the corner. He is indeed turning that corner. A lot of 70 people in here, guys. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. We're on the way.
It's the winning effect.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, when this team loses, typically maybe at most 15 or 20, but Hey, you take it how you can get him, man.
The only time in a loss where there's a lot of people watching is when they're really mad on how they lost. I think tonight a lot of people are very happy with how they won.
Yo, where's Rick Burns? Where's Rick Burns? Rick Burns, where are you at? Commenting on every.
Rick Burns will comment. Rick Burns will definitely comment.
What
Still trash, whatever. Yeah, I know. We'll get a comment from him. I'm not worried. We'll talk to him.
Where fans meet says, seeing how Flag and Queen are balling, is Trey Johnson Rookie of the Year out of the question? It's a good question, Ben. And I think so as well, but it just goes to show how talented Derek Queen, which I said was going to be good, and Cooper Flag are balling right now. And I think Trey, even though he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, it's not the end of the world. I think he can still make an all-rookie team. We'll just have to see how the second half of the season goes, and that's where we hopefully see his usage go up.
It's just an award.
Yeah.
Like, as long as he gets better throughout the season, I'm happy about it. I don't really give a damn about the awards are cool. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have the Rookie of the Year player, but it's just probably not in the ballot for Trey because he doesn't play enough right now.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's just an award. It doesn't mean much. I think, it never makes no sense. 4-6 in the last 10 games. We no longer have the worst record in the league. Ooh, who holds it, Ben?
I haven't looked at the.
Yeah, I'm blanking out right now. I know the crowd that's worried.
Should I do a lottery sim while we're at it?
Yeah, just do it. Do it for the Colts.
Oh yeah, so the Pacers also have 6 wins, but they have 25 losses. All right, let's do 2 lottery sims right here for fun. Sim lottery. The Wizards got the 3rd pick. Okay. Oh my God, the Thunder got the 1st pick in the sim.
That's nightmare.
And I was joking with my friend yesterday because the Spurs beat them for the 3rd time this year. I said, Adam Silver's going to realize that the Thunder clearly aren't good enough because they can't beat the Spurs. I think they're going to have to reward them with the 1st pick. That's actually really funny that the Thunder just won the lottery in that sim.
Before the season started, I told people the Spurs could give the Thunder fits. 3 losses this year so far, giving the Thunder out of their 5. Spurs, look out. Bobby Johnson, 6'4", minutes are few, but is AJ afraid to shoot? He looks like he doesn't want to. With AJ Johnson, we see some of the glimpses from the G League Capital City Go-Go games. I think his jump shot definitely has a long way to go. I think he's more known for his slashing ability, and I think once he gets that jump shot better with the mechanics and just being able to shoot it with confidence, I think he's going to be able to complete his game offensively better.
Yeah. See, we got anything else? I'll read this one. Is it Turpalub? Happy to see DQ balling. Every other rookie, don't care. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I love to see Derek. I love his personality, and it's funny that he's becoming like a transcending personality around the NBA. And like I've been known who he was as a person because I covered him at Maryland. So yeah, it's fun to see him. Would have liked him in DC. I wanted us to trade up for him, but I'm happy to see him succeeding elsewhere, and he hasn't hurt us yet, so that's good.
Yeah, have you told the story about you and Derek Queen, man?
Which one?
With you like not noticing that he wanted to dap you up?
Oh yeah, I guess I can tell that real quick while we still have the time. I called his first game that he played as a college basketball player against Manhattan. Post-game interview, I was interviewing him. There's a very famous image that circulated around. You can probably still find it pretty easily. After the interview was done, I was looking at the camera, and he had his hand out to like dap me up. And I wasn't looking at it until like a second later, and someone took a perfectly timed screenshot where I'm just totally leaving Derek Queen hanging. We laughed about it. I saw him a bunch of times after that. We'd laugh about it. So he's a good kid. He's a real good guy.
It's gonna be fun to see him when he comes to DC.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. There'll probably be a big crowd here for him.
Yeah, 100%. We'll just get the win, Ben. I'm psyched, man. Late Christmas present. You gotta love it.
Let's do it. All right, that'll do it for us today on the Lockdown Wizards podcast. Over 70 of you in the live stream for the Lockdown Wizards post-game show. Always a blast when you guys tune in. The everydayers, if you're part of that club, let us know below that you watch the channel every day. We appreciate alongside the co-host of the Lockdown Wizards podcast, Abdullah Ayubi. I'm Ben Strober, DC family. Talk to you later.